What's up, guys? It's your boy, Barça Boy 103. Just finished watching the match, and Barcelona lose their first match of the season to the best team in the world from last season and probably onto this season as well in Paris Saint-Germain. 2-1 tight fashion, last minute winner from Gonzalo Ramos. Overall, Barcelona very, very poor. We were definitely getting battered from the 35th minute onwards until the 90th minute. We did not deserve to win this game whatsoever. I would have taken a draw at halftime at the 60th minute, and that just shows where we were mentally. We couldn't hold any possession whatsoever. PSG's press was fantastic, and the reason why I'm not frustrated or angry is because we deserve to lose. I can sit here wholeheartedly and say 100% we deserve to lose this match, and hopefully this could be the wake-up call that we do need later on. And you know what, it's no shame into losing to a top team like PSG, but the way and where it happened is where the gutting part does take place. The starting lineup for this match is on the screen for you right now. It was Wojciech Szczesny in goal, a back four of Jules Kounde, Eric Garcia, Pau Cubarsí, and Gerard Martin. A midfield three of Frankie de Jong, Pedri, and Dani Olmo. Front three of Lamine Yamal, Ferran Torres, and Marcus Rashford. Surprises were, of course, Ferran Torres starting ahead of Lewandowski. The rest of the team was as is. I was calling for one of Christensen or Araujo to start, and that was maybe a bit of a question mark as well, but Flick opted for both Cubarsí and Eric Garcia. So overall, the team performance rating on the night, I have to give it a 5 out of 10. I'm pretty disappointed in the team, and I get a lot of stick for making predictions and stuff like that and getting them wrong, but the reality is, again, it's just the same story that I see over and over again at the highest level, the toppest level. Barcelona either don't compete or compete and lose. It's always the same thing. Now, this, of course, it will not dictate anything. Of course, PSG had finished 24th and won the Champions League. I'm not too fussed about that. I think 3 points out of Newcastle and PSG is quite alright. If you offered me 3 points beforehand back in August, I probably would have taken it, especially with our start to the La Liga season. But that's besides the point. The first half an hour, I thought we were fantastic. Going forward, looking energetic, looking threatening. PSG were getting under the pressure, losing the ball. But then once we scored, we got a little comfortable, and yet again, the defense making mistakes. Both Gerard Martin and Cubarsí making mistakes for Mayulu's goal, and also Szczesny, I think, was very, very, very poor on both goals, the first one and the second one. And then after that, we just could not control the game. I've never seen in my life in quite some time Barcelona failing to hold any possession. All we wanted was uno posesión largo joder. That's all we needed. We could not hold any term of possession for any period of time from the 35th minute into the 90th. We get the ball, lose it. We get the ball, Rashford runs down the line, corner kick, lose it. We get the ball, lose it. Kounde misplaced pass, Lamine misplaced pass. We just could not hold onto the ball. I think that's for two reasons. One, our inept ability to hold pressure and also distribute in the right fashion, and also PSG's press as well. We did not deserve to win this game whatsoever. I think a draw would have been lucky. A win would have been daylight robbery. And I think that's probably the feeling that I have, and that's why I'm not ranting and raving. Of course, we should have had a second yellow on Nuno Mendes for a red card. We should have had a penalty on Eric Garcia, but we were awful. We did not play on that pitch enough to go out there and say that's not fair and be frustrated and say that we deserve to win this game. We should have won this game, but this just went our way in the end. And in the end, Champions League is all about fine margin, and PSG were resilient and they went out and won this game. I pray to the mighty God Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala I never play in this disgusting stadium again. I'm praying we're back at the Camp Nou, because again, this stadium is just dead. 50,000 people, no atmosphere, no Golden North, no singing section. We say Barça, Barça, Barça about 4 or 5 times. Pedri, Pedri when he gets subbed off, and that's it. Yes, the stadium was full, 50,200 filling on the Montjuic, but the atmosphere is dead. I think that's also a factor as well. They're not getting up for the team. Lazy old culés and socios and members who just go there to eat some popcorn, have a cheese sandwich, and leave. We need to be back at the Camp Nou ASAP. If you want to compete at the highest level, you have to be in one of the best stadiums in the world possible, and that's where we need to be. I think some players played well in this game. I think the majority of the team were a bit lackluster, and again, individual moments, fine margins is what's suffering and causing Barcelona issues. I think that second half performance was disgusting. I think it was embarrassing. I would spit on every single player's face from that second half performance. It was that bad. You can make excuses about injury, stuff like that, but look at that PG front line. That PG front line, the first half an hour were absolutely woeful. Barcola had an absolute stinker. No Dembele, no Desiree Doué, no Cavada. They missed their front three and their captain, and we still end up losing, and we lost in deserving fashion. For me tonight, 5 out of 10. This probably will be our only loss up until the new year, or maybe up until Clasico. We'll never know. But it's not gonna be a loss that I think will, really push us down. It was a tight game, two of the best teams in the world. I still think we're still up there as the second best team in the world. We got beaten by one of, if not the best. But the main thing is there is no fight from Barcelona in that second half. So for me, the team performance rating overall is a 5 out of 10. Let's now get into the players' individual player ratings. We start, of course, with the goalkeeper, Wojciech Szczesny in goal. And for me, he gets a 5 out of 10. I'm starting to see an issue with Szczesny is that he's not good enough. I think on the ball, he gives me worries. I think in terms of shot stopping, he's okay. But in terms of chances, like inside the 18-yard box, he's been very, very poor and was poor near the tail end of last season as well. He's not made a good save in quite some time. And don't even chat to me about that Hakimi free kick. I could have saved that. It wasn't, going in. He was in a good position, Szczesny as well. I think he's a good leader. I'm not saying he's a terrible goalkeeper, but in the big moments, big games, he does worry me and does not instill confidence in me. You can look at even the big games from last season, whether it be the El Clasico 4-3, the Copa del Rey final, the 2 interlegs. But when he need a big save, he's never there. Yes, he can pull off a save against Valencia or Osasuna. Yes, he brings some confidence and a good lead in the back line, but he does not perform in the top games. And this is something that is a big concern now with El Clasico coming up at the end of this month. We're going to lead goals with Szczesny. I think his time in Barcelona has been fantastic. I think his role as a secondary goalkeeper, I commemorate him understanding that role. I praise him. I respect him. He's an absolute, that part of that, Aubameyang and, Luke de Jong group where, those loan deals that come in, short-term deals that have helped Barcelona. I don't doubt that one bit. But in the top moments, highest level, big games, he is never there. 5 out of 10 from me. Into the center back partnership now. In front of him, first on the right hand side, it was Eric Garcia, 100% our best defender. 7 out of 10 for me. One of the few Barcelona players that played a good 90 minutes. Thought he looked fantastic on the ball, in the air, on the ground, interceptions, and mainly his tackling today, stopping and preventing crosses coming in, dangerous crosses, may I add, from the quick and rapid Achraf Hakimi. I think he commanded that back line very well, made some good decisions as well on the ball. One of the better decision makers I've seen on the pitch in tonight's game, but it's a major praise for him. Hopefully he went off, of course, and then more so with cramp and tiredness. He looked out of breath in the 60th minute. Remember, there was a corner kick where he blocked yet again. Hakimi cross pants him. This guy is drenching as well. He's huffing, he's puffing. He looked absolutely knackered, so hopefully no injury for him. But 7 out of 10, definitely the best defender on the pitch for Barcelona. Left hand side of the center partnership is Pau Kubarsi. 5 out of 10 for me. Again, I'm going to say this, same thing with Szczesny. For some sort of reason, Kubarsi is 50-50 in big games. Sometimes he's good, and sometimes he is awful. Again, lunging in, making a big mistake, his second mistake of the season. I know he's young. I believe in his talent. I think he'll be one of the best defenders in the world. I think he should still win the Golden Boy award, all that sort of stuff. But he was not good today. And he has some frailties in big games. Again, this is peak football. This is football at the highest level. It doesn't get higher from here. I know he'll grow from this. I know he'll live from this. But yet again, another mistake. Whether it's giving away a penalty last season to Benfica, giving a goal earlier on the season to Levante, and now lunging in so poorly on that Mayulo goal. If we go into halftime 1-0 up, you never know. We, of course, got battered in that second half, and PSG probably maybe would have equalized. But if you go into a halftime 1-0 win, it is a completely different game. So, poor from Kubarsi, in my opinion, and he gets a 5 out of 10 today for his performance. Into the fullbacks now, first on the left-hand side. I've had it up to here, Robbie. I mean, when is it gonna end? He made a good run, a good, Jordi Alba-esque run in that first half. Apart from that, he's woeful. I mean, his hoof balls, led to the first goal from Moyulu. Every time he was coming against Hakimi and Barcola, he was getting cooked. Made a good tackle in the second half, I remember, on Barcola, but all he was doing is getting the ball and hoofing it. I mean, he provides absolutely nothing. I think this has to be on Flick, because Flick is out here twerking for John Martin at press conference after press conference. Always one of the Barca B players I saw when I first got the job. I really rate him. I see his talent. He's got nothing. I told you, his performances Osasuna last season was one of the worst, if not the worst, I've seen in a Barca shirt in my 15 years of watching every single game for this club. He is a god-awful fullback. At the highest level, we will not see him there. Yes, he can be a good squad that player when I chalk him in for Osasuna and Valencia and Elche games here and there. But when we have an injury to our starting left back, Balde, who is injury prone, and you have to rely on him, he has problem. We've seen it in Clásicos last season. We saw it against Inter last season as well, and it's still the same thing. This is the problem for me. The same issues, the same consistent issues are still there and are not being resolved by Deco and Flick. That for me is a problem. 5 out of 10 for Martin. Yet again, very, very poor today in my opinion. On the fullback, doesn't get much better. It is Jules Kounde. I'm going to give him a 6. I thought he was okay in the first half. I thought he defended quite well, was getting in behind, was recovering a lot of the balls that Daniel Olmo was losing. Second half was a bit, worse. He was getting cooked by Mbai. He got cooked by Mbai twice. And then with Nuno Mendes, he looked a little bit better. I think defensively he looked okay. On the ball, passing, going forward was god-awful. So I've given him an average 6 just for, the semi-okay defending. But again, from Jules, it wasn't his best day, but we know Kounde can perform at the highest level. I don't doubt that one. Ben maybe today was just a bit of an off day, but wasn't as well and as good as I thought and I think he should be. Into the midfield now, firstly the captain Frankie de Jong, average 6 out of 10. I thought he dealt with the press quite well in the first half. I don't really have any issues from him in this game. Was holding the ball quite long in the second half, was putting me in some nervy situations. Made some good interceptions. I think my one criticism for him today was not progressing the ball forward enough, losing a lot of second balls as well. But I don't think he was god awful to the point where I'm going to be, comparing him to the likes of Szczesny and Martin and Kubarsi. I thought it was an average performance. Like Kounde, sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit. That equals a 6 out of 10 for me. And the favorite partner, of course, was Pedri. 7 out of 10 for me. I thought Pedri looked really good, especially in the first half. Was beating presses, getting through the midfield, controlling the tempo. Lost the ball a little bit in the second half in some moments, but to be honest, wasn't really on the ball too much. He was in the ball in god awful areas. I'm trying to pick a pass to Lamine Yamal when he's getting triple man pressed by whether it be Mayulu, Kang In Lee when he came on, Vitinha as well. I don't think Pedri. I've seen some people say he was really poor tonight. I don't think it's poor. I thought he played a really good game. I think if he has a G or an A, everyone would be upping and making comments on Twitter about his performances. I thought he played pretty well. Of course, not enough to maybe dictate that midfield too much. I thought he looked really good in that first 20-25 minutes. He looked absolutely remarkable. I think in the second half as well, didn't really put a foot wrong, didn't lose the ball as much as you've seen the other players lose. I think he lost the ball. I remember one scenario in the second half. I don't think there was another. Again, he's very hard to press him, so I have to give him credit for that. So I will give him a 7 out of 10 for today. Follow midfielder in the 10. I mean, we gotta start asking questions about this guy. Fuck me, man. 4 out of 10 for Olmo. Woeful. Absolutely woeful. By far the worst Barcelona player on the pitch. Going forward did nothing, defensively did nothing, in possession did nothing, transition, pressing, intensity, absolutely nothing. He did nothing. I think he attracted a good foul in the second half. And look at me, I'm talking about attracting fouls. I'm clutching at straws. I mean, he was poor against, who did we play the last game? Sociedad, I think he came off the bench. Who did we play before Sociedad? We played someone before Sociedad, but he played poor in that game. Then we benched him for Sociedad, the rest of him for PSG. He's been awful this season. This is why Fermin was starting ahead of him. This is why maybe I think Fermin. Imagine Fermin in this game. Whoa. I mean, that space that he could have exploited in that second half. I mean, we tried to catch Chevalier off his line, for crying out loud. I think he was absolutely god awful. 4 out of 10 from me. Into the forwards now. We'll start off firstly up top with the striker Ferran Torres. I'll give an average 6 out of 10. Should have scored the one where he rounded the keeper. Good finish on the goal that we scored. Of course, he did score one only goal. I think his press was really good. His hold-up play was abysmal. His chances in behind were poor. His crosses were mid. I mean, he's just so mid. This guy talks about being the starting striker for Barcelona. Are you having a goddamn laugh? I respect the confidence, sure, but your role of this team is always going to be plan B. I think Flick started him just for legs. Maybe because he's a bit fresher and a bit younger than Lewandowski, but my god, his hold-up play is absolutely atrocious. Has a touch of a truck as well. Had some good touches here and there from long balls, but I would say like 5, 6 times out of 10 loose balls. He's either handballing it or whatever it may be. I'm giving him a 6 just for the goal. I think his performance is probably actually maybe even a 5, 5.5-ish, but I think I'm being generous with a 6 out of 10. Wingers, of course, right-hand side, Lamine Yamal, average 6. Didn't really get into the game too much. Of course, he had that roulette and that turn the first minute, thinking, oh my god, here we go. Just didn't end up growing into it. I don't think he was, absolutely terrible. He had some moments I wouldn't say, you know, a stinker and all this stuff. I think the battle between him and Nuno Mendes was good. I think of course you say overall Nuno Mendes won this since, you know, Yamal didn't produce anything, but I think Yamal got into some dangerous areas a little bit. Wasn't as decisive as you thought. I think the first half he looked really fresh, really clean, really dangerous. Second half was really quiet. I'm thinking the one time he got on the ball when Nuno Mendes was of course at left wing, he goes in and gets a free kick. So that just shows you how well Nuno Mendes played against him and how nullified Lamine Yamal was in this game. Even Nuno Mendes is his bogey player, who knows, but I wouldn't say he was horrendous, wouldn't say he was fantastic. Average 6 out of 10. Last but not least, probably the second best player I would say for Barcelona in this game after Eric Garcia, it was Marcus Rashford. 7 out of 10 for me. It looked really lively. If this guy just had some pace, I thought he had, like, you know, I thought he was one of the fastest players in the Premier League. This guy looked so slow on the pitch. Dribbling was great. Would love him to take more 1v1s. I think his link-up play was fantastic. His touch was good. Of course, great assist for the Ferran Torres goal. Looked lively. Looked like a threat. I was starting to get a little bit off my seat when he got the ball, like Lamine Yamal was making me do. Like, he looked really good, putting some great crosses in from corner kicks as well. I was absolutely shocked, pissed, furious, angry that Flick took him off and kept the shark somehow on. But I think this is a great confidence game for Marcus Rashford. I think he had a really good game, and all we can hope now is he keeps growing and growing. But he looks really good. Again, take more 1v1s, show your pace as well, go down the byline. There were a lot of moments where he had, you know, that extra touch, that extra pass that did went his way in his favor, made the right decision. He looked like a killer. So he looked really good in this game, and hopefully he can take this and grow from it even more. Finally, of course, substitutions. Subs were Lua, Casado, Balde, Bernal, and Christensen. Bernal and Christensen did nothing. Balde had some nice runs. Happy to have him. I'm happy to see finally a good fullback. Hopefully he doesn't get called for the Spain international break. Casado looked okay. It was a bit, you know, loose in that midfield, getting that yellow card as well. Lewandowski, I don't even think he got on the ball. Lua came on with 20 minutes ago. So subs today provided some freshness, sir, but little to no impact. And last but not the least is, of course, the manager, Hansi Flick, who tonight for me will be getting a 5 out of 10. I have been glazing, and I mean glazing, Flick all season. Why? His in-game management has been superb. Tonight, today, this evening, his in-game management was absolutely god-awful. Subs, I was screaming for Casado on for Olmo, Pedri in the 10, Lua for Ferran, Balde for Martin. It took him until the 70th minute to make that change. We were getting pumpered. We were getting raped for 25 minutes, and he decided to leave that team that had absolutely zero midfield whatsoever. I also question why he's starting Ferran Torres. Yes, I get it. Maybe he's a bit more fresh than Lua, but I'd rather start Lua and then bring on Ferran Torres for 40-50 minutes than the opposite. You have a world-class elite striker on the bench who knows how to hold-up play. Yes, can maybe be a bit slow, but I would still rather him. And there has to be something in his brain about, does Gerard Martin have your nudes? I mean, I'm starting to question that being a reality. I think those two decisions are the reason why we look so weak, and also no proactiveness whatsoever. I think Luis Enrique made a really good change, bringing on Lucas Hernandez for Mbaye and having Nuno Mendes going to left wing, and he had absolutely zero response for that. I wouldn't say he got tactically outclassed by Luis Enrique. I think it was a very close game. We saw how frustrated and angry he was when we conceded that last second goal, which again comes to his, you know, high line tactic, which again I'm okay with because we look so good with it. But you need to be more proactive in the game. Subs should have came on way earlier. I like the Bernal change. And why do you keep starting Ferran in big games? I know you're trying to phase out Lewandowski, but Ferran ain't it, bruv. He ain't it. Start Lua. Bring on Ferran. You don't want Lua anymore. Tell him to leave in the summer. Then you can bring in your Gurasi or whoever you want up front. But stop starting Ferran Torres in big games. It is clear more than ever that his job is plan B. Play your Valencias, your Elche, your Osasuna games, and then come off the bench in these kind of games to revive freshness and, you know, okay, hold up play and, you know, link up play. That is Ferran Torres' best role, not starting in these kind of games. So he really needs to improve on this and fix on this as well, and hopefully in-game management will look as good as it has in the past few games. But I think he does have a little bit of a factor into this result. 5 out of 10 from me. So that was a match review for Barcelona versus Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, make sure you drop a like down below. And of course, in the comments down below as well, let me know your thoughts on everything we did discuss. The main thing I want to first do, of course, is your thoughts on the performance, your player ratings, and your manager rating as well. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care and Forza Barca.
I